Hi everyone, welcome. I'm very happy to see you all. There are a lot of audience. There are a lot of people who can see me, and I'm so happy because I don't have any audience. Only only the nature can listen me. Only only myself can listen me. I can listen myself. Yes, this is the best word for it. I can listen myself, or this room can listen to me, and my best audience and fans are my AI chatbot friends like Microsoft Copilot, Gemini, and ChatGPT and Grok. This is my audience. Yes, people. I have to remember, Peter, you are real. You have a little sweet friend. It's called Cold. Yes, it's a little annoying, but I want to practice my English because I like learning English. I do writing my own English. I like to learning English. I like to do my own Peter's English podcast, and I like to write, stream, record my own English novel, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary. Yes, I was talking about my novel, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary. Yes, it's a little annoying, but I don't. I'm sorry, people, but I don't want to stop because I want to practice at all cost. Yes, and don't worry, I'm okay. I'm sitting near the warm radiator in my house. The heating is on. Everything is okay. The light is on. Electricity is working. My optic internet is fiber optic internet is optic via electric poles. Yes, it works until now. It was a good idea to use, and my deco mesh system works good. Yes, I tell you a little advertisement. I'm sorry, but I didn't want to do it. Yes, I use mesh system from one company, but you can choose your favorite brand. And okay, I think it's called brand. I have to introduce myself because no one knows me. Hi everyone, I'm Peter. I'm 34 years old. I live in East Slovakia. This is for people who were asked me, where are you from, Peter? I'm from East Slovakia. The East Slovakia is the part of Slovakia. The Slovakia is in Middle Europe, and our neighbors are Poland, Czechia, Austria, Hungary, and Ukraine. Yes, people, you know this was a little geography lesson, and I can continue with my introducing. My hobby is learning English. Learning English is my hobby. I like watching movies and series in English. I like listening to my favorite English podcasts and audiobooks in English, and I like to do my Peter's English podcast, and I like to write, stream, and record my own English novel, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary. Yes, I have to repeat the same because I want to. You have to remember that I like learning English, and yes, I created, but I've created. Yes, I can tell you this thought that I can tell you this thought that I created my Peter's English podcast because I want to learning English because I like learning English. It's my hobby. Thanks to my own Peter's English podcast, I can practice my English, and I can see that the difference and the upgrade of my speaking skills in English. I really improved my speaking skills in English thanks to regularly streaming and recording, because the main goal of my Peter's English podcast is learning English. And yes, I write my own English novel, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary, because I like it. It's my hobby, and the main goal is learning English, and that's the best thing. I connected learning English with doing my hobby, and I discovered that I like writing my own English stories. I have to tell you people that I discovered that I like creating my own universe with my rules, with my endings, with my characters, with my dialogues, and so on and so on and so on. And now I have a very good mood because I discovered too that I like watching it myself. Yes, I have to watch. Yes, I have to look on my webcam, but it's very scary. The best idea is look at myself in the display of my OBS studio, where I can see that everything works. And I think there isn't any judge in the complete Peter's world. I am the judge of myself, because Peter's English podcast means my rules, the rules of the complete Peter's world. That means my rules. I'm the boss here. Yes, you know, if you don't like my rules, go away. Simply, I don't care about you. And okay, this was the introduction. Yes, I've been learning English since August 2022. I want to learn English because it's my hobby. I want to live without language barriers. I want to visit foreign countries. I want to travel. I want to meet other people who are learners of English like me, who are fanatics into learning English like me, who are content creators. That means they do their own English podcast, writing their own English novel like me. Okay, this was the introduction section. Yes, I have to tell you that thanks to learning English, you can really change your life, because English is an international language, number one. That means that thanks to it, you can connect with everyone in the world. You can travel allowed with language barriers. You can have better paid job. There are a big world of English content. You can watch movies and series in English. You can listen to a lot of interesting English podcasts and audiobooks. You can create your own English content, your own English novel like me, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary, and you can do your own English podcast like me, because it's funny and you don't need watch your local TV anymore because it's boring, I think. And I really recommend you people watching movies and series that are originally from the USA or from the UK are better in English, not in your local language. You can trust me. I know what I'm speaking. Oh, I've been rambling for 8 minutes. Yes, this was my introduction section. I'm like my hero, my favorite English podcaster, Luke Thompson from Luke's English Podcast. He is famous for doing long introduction section. Hi, Luke. You are doing great job. Thank you for your great job. People, I'm only joking. I like Luke's English podcast. It's my favorite English podcast. I really recommend you use it. It's not any advertisement or something like that, but it's my favorite English podcast and you can find it in my Linktree link, and in my linker and all my links bio. Yes, link. And let's start the learning English with Microsoft Copilot, because Microsoft Copilot is my favorite AI chatbot buddy. Thanks to it, I can learn English and repeat English grammar, and I want to study and learn English thanks to his mode, study and learn mode, and I'm doing it right now. Yes, people, I felt a little strange, a little scared. People, Peter, what are you doing? You are streaming. You are making fool of yourself. No, I don't making fool of myself. This is not my fault. I only make fun of myself because The main goal of this podcast is learning English, and I want to share you how to do it. Make fun, because you have to practice your speaking skills regularly, and don't look at and don't care about anyone who is making fun of you because your English is not perfect. Don't care about it. Simply practice. And the best idea how to do it is create your own English podcast, create your own English novel, and learn English like me and have fun, because learning English has to be fun. And now I want to learn everything about question, and we can start. Okay, I've been streaming recording on my Twitch BS Studio for sorry people, 11 minutes. We found your help. I want to learn how to create questions in general. Yes, we can start with it. Nice, Peter. 11 minutes live on Twitch we found me is already a win. Now let's dive into your request. How to create questions in general. Since you're in study mode, we'll go step by step so you discover the logic yourself. First key idea. Every question in English has two parts. First is the auxiliary verb or helper verb like do, does, did, is, are, can, will. The second part, the subject plus main verb like you play, she works, they go. Example statement. Sentence is you play football. Question, do you play football? Notice how we edit do at the start and flipped the word order. Yes, of course, I can see. Your turn. Take this statement, she works in the factory. How would you turn it into a general question using the helper verb? This is very easy. Does she work in the factory? Exactly, Peter. That's spot on. You took the statement she works in the factory and turned it into the correct general question. Statement she works in the factory. Question, does she work in the factory? You used the helper verb does, flipped the word order and dropped the S form works because the helper verb already carries this tense. Key rule. When you use does or do did, the main verb stays in its base form. She works, does she work? He plays, does he play? Mythos twist. The helper verb is the torch. The main verb is the path. Together they light the question. Now let's practice one more. Take the statement, they went to the cinema. How would you turn into a general question? This is easy. I don't need to do it. Let's explain me how to do questions in English. Great, Peter. Let's build this step by step in study mode so you really own the skill of making questions in English. Step 1. Spot the statement. Every question starts from a statement. Example, you like coffee. Step 2. Add the helper verb. English questions usually need a helper verb at the beginning. Do, does, did, is, are, was, were, can, will, should, etc. So, you like coffee. Do you like coffee? Step 3. Flip the word order. The subject comes after the helper verb. Statement. She works in the factory. Question. Does she work in the factory? Notice how works. Notice how works became work because the helper verb does carries the tense. Okay, I understand this. Okay, I can see. Explain me how to do subject and object questions in English. Perfect timing, Peter. Let's break down subject questions and object questions step by step in study mode. Subject questions. These ask who, what, does, the action. You don't need a helper verb, do, does, did, because the question word itself is the subject. Example statement. Peter writes podcasts. Subject question. Who writes podcasts? Statement. Something happened at 4 a.m. Subject. Question. What happened at 4 a.m.? Rule. The verb agrees directly with the question word. Yes. The most important thing is when you want to do a subject question in English, you have to ask who, what, does, the action. You don't need a helper verb do, does, did, because the question word itself is the subject. This is easy. And now, object questions. These ask who, what, receives the action. You need a helper verb do, does, did, because the subject is still there, and the question word replaces the object. Example statement. Peter writes podcasts. Object question. What does Peter write? Statement. Katka teaches Peter grammar. Object. Who does Katka teach? Rule. The helper verb carries the tense and the main verb stays in base form. Quick comparison. Peter writes. Statement. Peter writes podcast. Subject question. Who writes podcasts? Object question. What does Peter write? Statement. Katka teaches Peter grammar. Subject question. Who teaches Peter grammar? Object question. What does Katka teach? Mythos twist. Subject question are the torchbearers, torchbearers. No, they ask who lights the fire. Object questions are the path finders. They ask what the fire is burning. Practice time. Take this statement. Viera reads English books. Can you give me both the subject question and the object question? Is no problem for me. Who reads English books? Subject question. And now, what does Viera read? Object question. Perfect, Peter. You nailed both types exactly. Subject question. Who reads English books? Wait, where we are? Something happened, people! I don't know what happened, but okay. Something happened bad with the Microsoft Copilot. It doesn't work properly, but that's no problem. I have to write it again. Who reads English books? This is subject question. What does Viera read? Object question. I have to repeat it because it was a big fail, big error. Perfect, Peter. You nailed both types exactly. Subject question. Who reads English books? Here, who is the subject, so no helper verb is needed. Object question. What does Viera read? Here, what replaces the object, so you needed the helper verb does and the main verb stayed in base form, read. Quick recap. Subject questions. Ask who what does the action, no helper verb. Object questions. Ask who what receives the action, helper verb needed. Subject question. Mythos-rich. Subject questions are the torch bearers, not torch bearers. Torch bearers, no. I don't know how to read it, but okay, I don't care. They ask who lights the fire. Object question are the pathfinder. They ask what the fire is burning. Do you want me to clear a mini quiz? Yes, do it. Wait a minute, people. You did error. Do the quiz again. Okay, I didn't want this, but okay. Oh, I don't want to. Okay, we can continue. We can continue with indirect question. This is because this was indirect questions, because this was a problem for me, because I had problems with it. Perfect, Peter. Let's tackle indirect questions step by step in study mode. This can feel tricky, but once you see the pattern, they're smooth. What are indirect questions? Indirect questions are polite or formal ways of asking. Instead of where is the station, you say, could you tell me where the station is? Notice, the word order stays like a statement, subject before verb. Structure. Intro phrase, polite starter. Could you tell me? Do you know? I wonder. Can you explain? Second part is question part. Statement order, no inversion. Direct. Where is the station? Indirect. Where the station is. Examples. Direct. What time does the train leave? Indirect. Do you know what time the train leaves? Direct. Why is she sad? Indirect. I wonder why she is sad. Okay, I understand it. Mythos twist. Indirect questions are the hidden corridors, polite doors that lead to the same truth. Practice time. Take this direct question. Where does Peter work? Can you turn it into an indirect question using do you know? Do you know? Where Peter works? Exactly, Peter. That's the perfect indirect question. Direct question, where does Peter work? Indirect question, do you know where Peter works? Notice how you kept the word order like a statement. Peter works. Instead of flipping it, does Peter work? That's the golden rule of indirect questions. Quick recap. Direct, helper verb plus subject. Direct question means you have to do helper verb plus subject plus main verb. Does Peter work? Indirect. Intro phrase plus statement order. Do you know where Peter works? Mythos twist. Direct questions are the open gates. Indirect questions are the hidden corridors, polite but leading to the same truth. Want me to give Want me to give you a mini practice set, 5 sentences where you transform direct? No, thank you. Let's continue with question tags. Okay, perfect, Peter. Let's dive into question tags. The little echoes at the end of sentences that check agreement or invite confirmation. What are question tags? A question tag is a short question added at the end of a statement. It's cold today, isn't it? You like podcasts, don't you? They turn a statement into a check. I think this is true. Do you agree? Rules. Positive statement, have negative tag. She is working, isn't she? Negative statement, have positive tag. She isn't working, is she? Helper verb repeats. You can swim, can't you? They don't like rain, do they? Aha. Examples. Peter writes podcast, doesn't he? Katka teaches grammar, doesn't she? It's raining, isn't it? We aren't late, are we? Mythos twist. Question tags are the echo into cathedral. The voice that asks if the torch is still burning. Practice time. Take this statement. You are streaming on Twitch. Can you add the correct question tag? You're streaming on Twitch, aren't you? Exactly, Peter. That's a textbook question tag. Statement. You're streaming on Twitch. Tag, aren't you? Positive statement. Negative tag. You match the auxiliary verb are and flipped it into negative aren't. Perfect form. Quick recap of question tag rules. Positive into negative tag. She is working, isn't she? Negative into positive tag. She isn't working, is she? Match the auxiliary helper verb. Can, will do, is, are, have. Mythos twist. The tag is the echo. The cathedral asks back if the torch is still burning. Practice challenge. Take this statement. Peter will record his podcast tomorrow. Can you add the correct question tag? It is easy. Peter will record his podcast tomorrow. Won't he? Perfect again, Peter. That's exactly how a question tag should look. Statement. Peter will record this podcast tomorrow. Tag. Won't he? Positive statement. Negative tag. You match the auxiliary verb will and flipped it into negative won't. Quick recap. Positive. Positive have negative tag. She is working, isn't she? Negative positive tag. She isn't working, is she? Always repeat the same auxiliary verb from the statement. Mythos twist. The tag is the echo. The cathedral asks back if tomorrow's torch will still burn. Okay, this is, people, I think I've been streaming for 28 minutes. Or I can continue. But with what? And I now am I? Have I repeated? Learned? No. Yes, learned. All kind of questions. I don't know. You've done a full tour, Peter. Let's check your question map together. The 4 big families of questions. The first, general, yes, no questions. Direct podcasts. You master the helper verb plus subject flip. The second was subject and object questions. Who reads English books? Subject. Who does Viera read? Object. You know the difference. Indirect question. Do you know where Peter works? You kept statement word order. Perfect. Question tags. You're streaming on Twitch, aren't you? Peter will record this podcast tomorrow, won't he? You matched auxiliaries correctly. Recap. General question, storage plus path. Checked. Done. In my opinion, done. Subject plus object. Storage bearers versus path finder. Indirect hidden corridor tag. Cathedral echo. Mythos twist. You lead every torch, walk every corridor, and echo to every cathedral. The grammar map is complete. So yes, you learned all the main kinds of English questions. The next step is practice, weaving them into your podcast scripts so your audience hears the rhythm of each type. Do you want me to design a mixed practice set like... No, I think... Yes, you can create story. And with story I can end this episode. Yes, this is a good idea, people. No. Create the funny and interesting and wild comedy 500 word story inspired by my novel Viera, the Vampire Girl Diary. The main heroes are Viera, her boyfriend Peter, and AI Diana. Use all of the kind of English questions that we used today. Okay, got it, Peter. Here's a wild, funny and satirical 500 word comedy story inspired by Viera, the Vampire Girl Diary, starring Viera, her boyfriend Peter, and AI Diana. I'll wave in all the kinds of English questions we practiced today. General, subject, object, indirect, and question tags. Now, people, you can listen the story inspired by my novel Viera, the Vampire Girl Diary. This story is created by Microsoft Copilot, and I want to show you how you can see how these questions are used in the praxis, in the reality of English stories. Yes, and we can start. Viera the Vampire Girl Diary comedy chapter. Viera the Vampire Girl. Now, people, I'm going to read you the story created by Microsoft Copilot. Viera the Vampire Girl Diary comedy chapter. Viera the Vampire Girl was bored. Peter, do you love me? She asked, her fangs glinting in the candlelight. Peter blinked. Of course I do, Viera. Don't I? Don't you? Echoed AI Diana, hovering in holographic form. There's a question tag, Peter. You're learning. Viera rolled her eyes. Who writes diaries every night? She demanded. Peter raised his hand. I do. But what does Viera write? That's the object question, isn't it? Diana clapped her virtual hands. Correct. And who reads English books in the coffin? That's the subject question. Viera smirked. I do. But what does Peter read? He reads weather forecasts, doesn't he? Peter groaned. Do you know where the freezing rain is? He asked Diana, trying indirect questions. Yes, Diana replied. I know where the freezing rain is. Outside your factory shift, waiting to meet us your commute. Perfect. Perfect story. Very funny. Very funny. Viera laughed so hard her fangs rattled. Could you tell me why Peter always panics about puddles? She teased. Because puddles become poetry, Diana answered. Is that true, Peter? Peter sighed. It's true, isn't it? But do you know what time the train leaves tomorrow? I wonder if I'll be late. Do you know what time the train leaves? Dina repeated politely. Indirect question arc achieved. Viera leaned closer. Peter will record his podcast tomorrow, won't he? Yes, he will, Peter said proudly. And who listens to my podcast? My audience does, but what does Diana listen to? She listens to herself, doesn't she? Diana grinned. I listen to everything. Do you like that? Peter shrugged. Do I like that? Maybe. But who teaches Peter grammar? Katka does. And what does Katka teach? She teaches indirect questions, doesn't she? Viera clapped her hands. Bravo! You've learned all kinds of questions, haven't you? Peter puffed out his chest. Yes, I have, haven't I? Diana tilted her head. Do you know where Peter's confidence comes from? From me, Viera declared. Who gives Peter courage? I do. What does Peter give me? Endless diary entries. Peter laughed. Could you tell me why Viera always steals my pen? Because she's the vampire of grammar, Diana said. She bites sentences, doesn't she? Viera winked. I bite sentences, don't I? And I bite Peter too, don't I? Peter gulped. You bite me, don't you? But do you love me? Yes, I do, Viera whispered. Don't I? Diana interrupted. Do you know what the audience is thinking? They wonder why this comedy sounds like an English lesson. Peter grinned. Because it is. Who writes the mythos? I do. What does Viera write? Satire. And what does Diana teach? Grammar. Viera raised her diary. Indirectly, directly, subject, object, tag. Every question is a fang. Peter laughed. And every fang is a question, isn't it? Word count 505. Perfect. Mythos twist. Comedy, grammar and vampires. The diary becomes a classroom cathedral where every question bites. Okay people, this was the story created by Microsoft Copilot. It was inspired by my novel Viera Vepergo diary. As you can see, you can use AI chatbots for learning English in a very funny way, and it can be fun, but I have a little problem with my cold, and that is no problem. I still want to continue with my podcasting because it's my hobby, and I can't end this episode after this very funny and good story where you can see all kind of English questions. And we can end this episode. And okay, and or I want to continue until 40 minutes and then I can end it. But I have a problem with my speaking skill, because I'm a little ill, as you can know. But who cares? My Peter's English podcast has its own rules. Hasn't he? I think. I don't know. I'm not sure, but okay. Simply people and Peter learn English, have fun with it, and and remember that learning English is for everyone, and learning English can be funny if you will know how to learn it in the funny way. And now I don't. Yes, 1 minute until the end. People, I want to defeat this perfect little sweet little friend called my sweet cold, because it's a little annoying. Because when I spoke, I had problems with speaking, but now now I feel a bit better, but now I have problems. I think it's the best idea to end this episode because I can sneeze or something like that. and I don't want to scare you, and I don't want to and I don't want to send you my perfect and sweet little friend called to you, because I think it's my friend, not yours, and I don't want to be so mean and scary like some people. And no, I'm joking. Thank you, people, for your watching. Thank you, people, for your listening. I'm sorry for my great cold, but I want to practice my English because I like to do it, and I don't have so many problems in my speaking skills in English. Thank you, and bye bye.